Welcome back to Byte-Sized Tech, where we break down the latest and greatest in tech and gadgets.
Always exciting times.
It really is, and it feels like every time I blink, there's some new AI development.
Oh, absolutely.
Or a company making headlines.
Yeah.
Speaking of headlines, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff we're diving into today.
It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
We got everything from companies using tech for good to Apple's maybe not so secret AI strategy.
Interesting.
The never-ending TikTok saga.
Oh, boy.
Plus, we'll be talking about a company that's trying to train 1 million people in AI.
1 million people?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with the tech for good angle.
Okay.
We've got Lyft stepping up big time during the California wildfires.
Yeah.
Offering free or discounted rides with that CIA Fire Relief 25 code. I think they said over 15,000 rides already provided.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's incredible.
It really is.
Using their platform for something good like that.
And it highlights how these companies are thinking beyond just profits, you know, incorporating social impact into their operations.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is that this wasn't just like a one-off reaction to this.
Right.
Lyft actually has a whole disaster relief program called Lyft Up.
That's right. Lyft Up. I've heard of that. And they've raised a lot of money through the app, I think, for other relief efforts too, right?
Yeah, over $33 million since 2017.
Wow.
So what's really smart about this is that they're building trust with users. They're not just reacting to emergencies.
Right.
You can even round up your fare.
Oh, really?
And donate directly to disaster relief through the app.
That's a cool feature. I like that.
Yeah.
Imagine the impact if like every ride-sharing app did something like that.
It's such a simple feature, but it can really add up.
Absolutely. And speaking of making an impact,
yes,
let's talk about Snowflake.
Okay.
They've got this audacious goal of training 1 million people.
It's a lot of people.
In data and AI over the next 4 years.
The next 4 years.
They're calling it the
1 Million Minds Initiative.
1 Million Minds Initiative. That's a big undertaking.
It is a huge undertaking.
1 million people. Why are they focusing on India specifically?
So it's actually quite strategic.
Okay.
India has a massive and rapidly growing tech talent pool.
I can imagine.
And there's a huge demand for data and AI skills globally.
Right.
So Snowflake is kind of addressing a critical skills gap while also potentially tapping into a future talent pipeline for themselves.
Oh, that's smart.
So they're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Addressing a global need and boosting their own potential workforce.
Very clever. Very clever.
Exactly.
But they're not neglecting the U.S. market either, are they?
No, they're not.
What are they doing here?
They're using a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
With H-1B visas, university recruitment, and even client workshops.
So it shows a real commitment.
It really does.
To investing in the future of the industry. Speaking of investing in the future.
Yes.
What is the deal with Apple and AI?
Well, that's a really important question.
It is.
Because you've got companies like Samsung partnering with Google for their Gemini AI.
Right.
Microsoft deeply integrating with OpenAI. And Meta pushing their own AI initiatives.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Apple's approach has been much more cautious.
It's interesting how different their approaches are.
Yeah. Some might even say they're playing catch-up.
Do you think they're being a little too conservative?
It does make you wonder.
Especially with those rumored foldable iPhones on the horizon.
It makes you wonder if those are even real or not.
I know, right?
But, you know, if they're going to compete in that space, they'll need to have some serious AI capabilities.
For sure. Because it seems like everyone else is going all in.
Yeah. It's a gamble for Apple because they've always prided themselves on design and usability.
Right.
But are those enough to win over consumers in an increasingly AI-driven world?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
It is.
And with Tim Cook getting that hefty pay raise,
yeah,
while iPhone sales are dipping,
the
pressure's on for them to deliver something really innovative.
It's like they're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Do they stick to their traditional strengths or go all in on AI?
Yeah.
And risk alienating their core user base?
Right. Because Apple users are very loyal.
They are very loyal.
It's a tough decision for them.
What do you think?
I honestly don't know. It's hard to say.
Apple's notoriously secretive.
They are.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
They can't afford to ignore the AI revolution that's happening all around them.
Otherwise, they risk becoming irrelevant.
In the very market they helped create.
Oh, the irony.
Right.
Well, let's not forget about the other tech drama unfolding right now.
Oh, yes.
The TikTok saga.
The TikTok saga.
Where do things stand with all the legal battles and potential bans?
It's a roller coaster ride, that's for sure.
It really is.
So the U.S. government claims that ByteDance might have to sell its U.S. operations.
Due to national security concerns.
Right.
But there are legal challenges and potential delays.
Of course.
It's a really complex issue with data privacy, free speech, and global tech regulation all tangled up in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, imagine your favorite app just vanishing overnight.
Oh, it would be devastating for a lot of people.
It really would. It's enough to make anyone think twice about who controls the technology they use every day.
It's true. This isn't just about TikTok, though.
Okay.
This case could set a precedent for how governments around the world regulate tech giants.
Right.
And what it means for innovation, competition, user rights.
Wow, it's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
And we're just getting started. So let's take a quick pause here.
Sounds good.
And come back to explore the rest of these topics in more detail. All right, we're back and ready to dive deeper into some of these tech trends we touched on earlier.
Yeah, lots to explore.
Speaking of diving deeper, let's circle back to Apple for a moment.
Okay.
Those foldable iPhone rumors are really heating up.
They are, and it'll be interesting to see how Apple tackles this challenge.
Right.
Because they're not exactly known for being first to market.
I mean, they usually come in with a product that's like polished and well thought out.
Yeah. But they're facing some stiff competition this time around. Samsung has already been in the foldable game for a while now.
They've had a few iterations at this point.
Yeah, and they've partnered with Google to integrate their Gemini AI into those devices.
That Gemini AI, it's supposed to be pretty impressive, right?
Yeah. Google Gemini is designed to be incredibly versatile, powerful, adapting to different devices and tasks seamlessly.
So Apple needs to bring something unique to the table if they want to stand out.
For sure.
It's not enough for them to just slap a foldable screen on an iPhone and call it a day.
Right.
They'll need to show how their foldable design enhances the user experience in a way that only Apple can.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the AI aspect.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Apple's been pretty quiet about their AI strategy. But if they want to compete in the foldable market, they'll need to showcase some impressive AI capabilities.
Otherwise, they risk being seen as playing catch-up.
Yeah, it's a high-stakes game, for sure.
High stakes indeed.
Speaking of high stakes.
Oh, who we're talking about now?
Let's shift gears to a company that's been facing some challenges lately.
Okay.
Sonos.
Sonos, oh yeah. I know they've had some issues with their app recently.
It's true. Their revamped app has been causing quite a few headaches for users.
What kind of problems are we talking about?
Everything from basic volume control.
Really?
To more complex features like alarm functionality has been glitching out.
So like pretty much everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
And in the world of smart speakers, like a seamless app experience is crucial.
Absolutely.
People just want to be able to control their music effortlessly, you know?
Right. They don't want to wrestle with buggy software.
Exactly. And these app issues have actually led to a dip in Sonos's sales, I think.
Yeah. Which is a pretty clear sign that something needs to change.
I heard they brought in a new CEO.
They did.
Tom Conrad, to try and turn things around.
Right.
Does he have what it takes to get Sonos back on track?
Well, he certainly has the experience.
Okay.
He co-created Pandora.
Oh, wow.
And has served on the Sonos board for a while.
So he knows the company.
Yeah, he knows the company and the industry well.
It'll be interesting to see what changes he implements.
Yeah, and whether he can restore user confidence in the brand.
It's a reminder that even established tech companies can stumble if they don't prioritize the user experience.
100%.
But enough about struggling companies.
Okay.
Let's loop back to the TikTok saga.
Right.
Because it seems like there's always something new developing.
It is a constantly evolving situation.
So where are we at now?
Well, remember, the core issue is whether ByteDance,
TikTok's parent company.
Yes, TikTok's parent company will be forced to sell its U.S. operations. The U.S. government is concerned about potential data security risks.
Yeah.
And the possibility of the Chinese government accessing user data.
That's a big concern.
Yeah. And then there's the whole debate about whether these concerns are legitimate or if it's more about economic competition and trying to limit the influence of a Chinese tech giant.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's really going on behind the scenes sometimes.
It's a complex geopolitical puzzle, that's for sure.
And it's not just playing out in the U.S. either.
Right. Other countries are also grappling with how to regulate TikTok.
Yeah.
And balance national security concerns with free speech and user privacy.
Like in Europe, for example.
Yeah, where they've implemented stricter content moderation rules for platforms like TikTok.
It seems like every country is taking its own approach.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
And the outcome of these debates will have ripple effects across the entire tech landscape.
Oh, for sure.
It's fascinating to watch how this unfolds.
Yeah.
And what precedents are set for the future of global tech regulation.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of global trends, let's bring Snowflake back into the conversation.
Okay.
They've been making some big moves in the generative AI space.
They have. They've released a ton of new features over the past year.
Oh, wow.
All geared towards helping businesses harness the power of generative AI.
So they're really going all in on this.
It's clear they see this as a major growth area.
I heard they even acquired a company called Nebo.
They did.
Which specializes in large language models. That's a pretty significant investment.
It is, and it shows they're serious about becoming a leader in this space.
Yeah.
They're not just talking the talk.
They're walking the walk.
Exactly, and they're making these AI tools accessible to everyone.
That's great.
From data analysts to business executives.
It's like they're democratizing AI.
Yeah, making it as commonplace as using a spreadsheet.
That's a powerful concept, and it makes you wonder how AI will continue to shape our world in the years to come.
It really does. It's like we're on the cusp of a new era, and AI is going to be a major driving force.
But it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it could be used for good or bad.
Exactly.
It's up to us to ensure that it's developed and used responsibly.
100%.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
From AI and foldable phones to the complexities of global tech regulation.
It's amazing how quickly the tech landscape changes.
It really is, and how interconnected it all is.
It is, and that's what makes it so fascinating to follow.
Absolutely. There's always something new to learn.
Always.
Some new development to explore.
Yeah.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our bite-sized tech journey for today.
Yeah. It really is mind-boggling to think about, like, all the possibilities.
Yeah.
But also the potential pitfalls, you know?
Absolutely.
But hey, that's what makes this whole tech world so captivating, right?
It really does.
It's like we're watching the future unfold in real time. Exactly. And sometimes it feels like science fiction is becoming reality faster than we can keep up.
Yeah.
Remember when foldable phones were just like a concept in sci-fi movies?
Yeah.
Now they're hitting the mainstream.
Crazy.
And who knows what incredible innovations are just around the corner.
I know, right?
It's exciting.
Speaking of those sci-fi concepts becoming reality,
Yeah.
I can't help but think back to that 1 Million Minds initiative from Snowflake.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about training people in data and AI.
Right.
It's about like potentially unlocking a wave of new ideas and solutions we haven't even imagined yet.
You're right. It's about empowering people with the skills to shape the future.
Exactly.
And those million minds could come from anywhere, any background.
That's a good point.
That's what's so exciting about this.
Yeah.
It's a chance to democratize access to these cutting-edge fields and foster a more inclusive tech landscape.
I love that. And that brings us back to something we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
The importance of like ethical considerations in tech.
Oh, absolutely.
As AI becomes more powerful and integrated into our lives, we need to make sure it's developed and used responsibly.
Couldn't agree more.
Right.
We need to be mindful of potential biases.
Yeah.
Ensure transparency in how AI systems are built and used, and have open discussions about the societal impact of these technologies.
It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people behind it.
Right.
And the choices they make.
100%.
And speaking of choices, let's circle back to Apple for one last thought.
Okay.
They've always been known for their sleek design and user-friendly products.
Yeah.
But as we discussed, they're facing some tough decisions when it comes to AI.
They are, and it'll be fascinating to see how they navigate this evolving landscape.
Yeah.
Will they double down on their traditional strengths, or will they embrace a more aggressive AI strategy to keep pace with the competition?
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
It's like we're watching a high-stakes poker game.
Right.
And Apple is holding their cards close to the vest.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
They can't afford to sit on the sidelines for too long.
Yeah, the tech world moves fast.
It does.
And those who hesitate might just get left behind.
That's true, but that's what makes it so exciting for us tech enthusiasts, right?
Exactly.
You get a front row seat to all the innovation, the drama, the breakthroughs, and the occasional misstep.
Well said. It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
It really is.
And on that note, we've come to the end of our bite-sized tech adventure for today.
Sad to see it go.
I know, but we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From AI and global regulation to foldable phones and the importance of ethical considerations.
It's been a blast.
It has. It's been a blast exploring these topics with you.
Likewise.
Thanks for tuning in to Bite-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.